Sound check, sound check. Okay, stream's running. YouTube is good. Okay, guys, welcome everybody. Welcome to this very special stream on this channel. First time for me, so I'm a little bit nervous. So feel free to make fun of me. Welcome to the first pre-release stream with the Captain Iceman Piper PA44. I'm very thankful to have this honor to try this airplane and display it to you so you guys can see how is it and see how it performs and how it flies, sounds, looks, and what fun things there are. So this is going to be a very special stream because actually with me I have the entire team of the developers behind this aircraft, which I think is extremely nice because you can just ask them any questions you want. They will be able to read the chat. They can answer directly to you. So it's really, I think, the perfect stream to display an airplane. And yeah, so I welcome Captain Iceman himself, Jeffory and Maverick. They are in a Discord call with me. So guys, feel free to say hello to everybody on YouTube.
Hello guys, we're super excited to be here in this Blad streaming and just showcasing the Piper PA44 Seminole that it's going to be released pretty soon. And thank you so much for having us live with me, with my crew, with my team. We have Maverick and we have Jeffory. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. So guys, please go ahead and introduce yourselves and what's your role.
Hey, I'm Jeffory. I'm, I guess, the software engineer for Jetstream. I developed the pilot's operating handbook plugin for weight and balance and, O2 and other options, both for this aircraft, the Seminole, and the previous aircraft, the Seneca 2. And I'm proud to be a member of the team.
And I'm Maverick. I'm the modder. Did all the little modeling of this beautiful plane. Yep, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
very well modeled. Now, one thing, guys, sorry, but I will have to stop the Discord stream because I'm running the stream on Discord. I just noticed my drop of frame rate, so that will have to stop. Sorry.
No worries, we'll watch the YouTube stream.
Yeah. But yeah, modeling is great, and I love the weight and balance plugin, by the way. I think it's really well done, simple and concise, and it has exactly what we need. So, yeah, let's start. I will start showing this airplane from the ground, which is how it's supposed to be operated. So you guys have a logic when you build your airplanes, as I see, is you want to just pass through the experience of having a general aviation aircraft. So with the Captain Iceman series, we actually have to do some sort of pre-flight and walk around and make sure that we actually have the airplane prepared for the flight. Otherwise, funny things can happen, right?
Yeah, indeed. One of the philosophy that when we started the CIS series for the general aviation is that to have, it's always important. Okay, it's fun to fly, in a sim and stuff, but you're always at least I was missing the part or the portion of a little bit of the pre-flight, because sometimes you just go in there, you just want to fly and stuff, but you're not very involved with the rest of the procedure. So that's when we came with the idea of having the oil consumption, that you just need to check it from time to time. Just make sure as you will do in your walk around. We started that on the Seneca, and then afterwards we just push the bar a little bit higher. So you need to plan your fuel now, and you need to refuel your aircraft now from the fuel tanks. And the logic and what is involved in within the plugin and all the coding and stuff, like Jeffory with the POH and the weight and balance sheet, that it resembles what you would see and is expected in a graph of the POH is just amazing. And I mean, he's been great through our journey here, starting in Jetstream with the CIS series. I don't know if Jeffory, you want to tell us a little bit more about what's involved in just designing and how this POH just came alive?
Well, first of all, I'm a little choked up, so I'm going to have to work through that. But It's actually a really fun project, and like I said, it did start with the Seneca, and what we did with the Seminole obviously is fairly similar. The weight and balance. It was really fun to do because we have not only just showing the numerical displays of the changes that happen to the weight and balance of the aircraft based on how you're setting the weights of passengers and luggage and all that, but we were also able to implement kind of that nifty graphing center of gravity or final weight and takeoff within the weight and balance envelope, and that was it was suitably challenging and very fun, and it's I know it's a small thing, but it's kind of visually rewarding to see in action, and kind of gives you an idea of what would be happening if you were a real pilot plotting all those points before any flight. So everything that Iceman and I have done together also seems to be pretty dynamic in terms of we think we have a pretty good product, and then Iceman comes up with another crazy ass idea, and we have to figure out how to implement it, and it's fun as well. The options for the different avionics, things like that.
That's awesome. I really love that. I love the idea that you guys are pushing the limits and exploring new stuff. You're just not afraid, and you're just not stopping like, okay, we have a problem. Let's just not do it because it's too difficult. You guys keep pushing and you guys keep improving, and I think that's why your airplanes stand up. By the way, let me just do a quick shout out to the chat. So Climb2370, welcome to the stream. Ludo Kerman, LPCB plane spotting, Owen Tomlinson, hello, Global 6000. Dear Lambert, hey, welcome to the stream. Cooler is there, and Yekaterina, welcome everybody to the chat. We already have a comment saying that Global 6000 saying hello. Is it the older model Seminole seeing the nose light?
Yes, it is. We went on a very cold day to do our first shooting of the aircraft, and Maverick will remember that very well because we had all the all the aircrafts from the school that kindly awarded us the permission to go in their tarmac and then just like uncover the aircrafts on that cold winter, and then just start doing the shooting that we need for the references, just for the inside and the outside. And yes, they have the old model with the landing gear, with the landing with the landing light and the taxi light on the nose. So that's a feature from that old model of the Seminole.
That's really nice. And I've been quietly, while you guys were talking about the explanation, I was quietly walking around the airplane. I'm using a Walkaround plugin, which is available for free on the forums. I will be probably putting a link after the end of the stream because it's working really nice. To do the walk around and just show all the details of this airplane. It's really well modeled. There's a lot of details on the landing gear. As you can see, you can put and take away the chocks and as well the engine covers and the pitot tube cover as well. So that's all possible to do. And as well, the doors are being operated from the outside, as you've just noticed there. I opened the cargo compartment. And
yeah, one thing I want to mention about the static objects, about like the engine plugs and the chocks and everything, is that if you don't remove it, like as you said, some bad stuff is going to happen. So
and then it's going to become really funny.
They are alive and they do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, you need to be aware of that. If they are on, I mean, they're in place, that something is not going to work or something is going to break. So yeah, make sure that you really do your walk around and take off your chocks. Another thing that we worked with Jeffory was that we had like the persistence model in the aircrafts, just like the Seneca, that the way you leave the aircraft with the chocks on and with the plunging plugs or on or off, it's the way that you will get your aircraft loaded the next time. So it has persistence in that area, as well as the fuel and the amount of oil. So you need to really be doing your due diligence in your walk around phase, just to check out that the oil is not below the limits, or and something is gonna happen.
Yeah. Now speaking about the oil, I can actually show already. It's the same systems for those who already own the Piper Seneca. The system is exactly the same. So you come here close to the engine, you tap on the oil cover, and you have this nice how this thing called oil thing where you have your oil level, and your oil level is the white line. So this is really nice. Right now, for example, we are below the minimum amount, which is the red line. Maximum is the green, so we do have to refill it. We just click on the bottle, and there we go. We have now oil on the engine. Same thing for the other engine. So always make sure to check your oil level before starting a flight. Otherwise, probably the airplane will start. Probably you will be able to take off, and then probably something will happen, something not really cool.
Something not really cool when you run an engine without enough oil.
Yeah.
It's probably not probably something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. And guys, again, I love the details on this airplane. I see like the small placards saying avgas only grade. I see there the ELT located there in the tail. I mean, all the rivets are there. The texturing is just spot on. Like the details on the gear are so good. I really, really like. So far, we've been going around the airplane on the outside. We will come inside the airplane now to see what's what. And so let me just exit the plug-in, take a seat. And this, guys, you can see the cockpit of the Seneca. This one has a, this is like a yellowish panel. We can call it white. This panel color can be changed according to livery. There's a different livery, quite interesting one, but I decided not to use it on this live stream, but I will use it later on. It's a Jinx livery, which has a black panel, which I really, really do enjoy. And you guys already spoke about avionics and configuration, so now that we are in the cockpit, let's just show how is it possible to customize the Piper Seminole. So coming there to the manual or the weight and balance plugin for the Seminole. Those who already have the Piper Seneca can probably associate, so it's very similar to what you already see there. And I really like this layout because it's very simple, very concise, everything is clear, and you know immediately what do you need. So first things first, we've got 4 options, and probably I should even call it 5 options, because there are 2 versions of the Seminole. One which comes with the 530 GNS of X-Plane, and another one which comes with the 430 GNS of X-Plane. On this stream, I am displaying the 530 because the Piper Seneca, if I'm not mistaken, had only the 430. So just to have something different here on the stream, I took the 530 version. And then you have 3 other modes of customize it. You have the GTN 750. I know somebody on Reddit or Facebook group was asking about this. Now, this is a question for you guys. Is it possible to pop out the GTN 750?
No, it's embedded on the bezel. So it's I think on the Reddit, the question was if it was a pop-out option or if it was embedded in the panel. We are trying to have like the best experience ever. So we don't have, and particularly one thing that I think that we agree all on the team that we don't like is just these popping screens, right, and menus and stuff. So that's one of the reasons that we decided to make just like everything work organic, and in terms of like bringing out, just if you're looking at the POH, just look at the POH, the weight and balance and stuff and everything. Mm-hmm. But we decided not to go even, with these tabs that other people are putting around, just to check how the amount of oil you are, and then just click and refill or do the refueling and stuff. And actually, like we did something different with the fuel in this one from the Seneca. Like Jeffrey, if you want to tell us what we did with the fuel that's different from the Seneca, that would be great.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. What we decided to do is, like you would in real life, you can only refuel refuel the aircraft from the outside at the cowlings. You are no longer able to, click and roll or mouse wheel on the tanks and the POH like you could in the Seneca.
Yeah, right now
So-
I'm scrolling through the on the fuel tanks, and as you guys can see, no fuel has been added. So it's definitely not possible now, and the only way is just to go outside and really pump it yourself. Are you planning to add this functionality on the Seneca?
Yeah, probably some of the features that we are adding here in the Seminole, we will have it in the Seneca at some point. But we wanted just to first finish the Seminole, get it out to the public, decide which our next project will be, and then we can go back a little bit on the Seneca. Probably an update will be coming for the first quarter of next year, adding some of these features just to have more, an
Yeah.
organic feeling of like feeling the tanks. This is what you do when you are really up to fly, right? You just don't
Yeah.
jump in a plane and then just turn on the engines and then just go flying, right?
Yeah.
There's a procedure. There's a procedure that's called a pre-flight.
Yeah.
That where you need to really see where you're going, what are you going to do, if you have enough fuel, then go refuel the aircraft, check the oil, like remove the static things like the chocks, like the engine plugs. And I think this adds a little bit more of an immersive in your experience in an organic way, the way you would do it in the real aircraft without having to do like a lot of stuff, right? Like I don't know, like just too many things for saying so. So we're trying to find the right balance
Yeah.
between what the most important thing of the pre-flight is. So this will help like people get more involved into the whole stages, into the whole stage of flight.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's really good, especially for the world of general aviation. I think many times people overlook general aviation, and they are too focused on the airliners, which I have nothing against. As you guys know, I'm a student pilot. Currently, I fly general aviation airplanes, but my final goal is to go into the airlines. But still, just as many of you probably, I started flying like an Airbus A320 on the simulator, and then I didn't know how to start a Cessna. So that was quite embarrassing, but now that I actually tried flying the real planes in real life and experienced so much more and started exploring more of the general aviation world inside the simulator, I just find it to be so good for like even the simmer experience, that it's definitely a good thing. All right, that's great. So let's continue just showing here the customization of the panels. So I showed the GTN 750. There is a dual GPS combo. So both the 530 and the 430. And there is actually another one, which is the no GPS, which is the good and old Bendix. I think this is a Bendix panel. Bendix King panel with all the radios, which is really nice and I really like. So we're definitely going to be flying that on a later stream. Right now for this stream, I want to try the single GPS, which is like the standard version. So we're going to try to fly as standard stuff as possible. Then we've got two barrel settings, of course the Imperial and the Metric. So in case, well, today we're flying in the US, but you could be flying somewhere else where there is a QNH in use. Well, you can change the units there through the menu, and it's really useful. Then what you can do is load up people inside the plane through the menu as well. Just click on it and then you can scroll to adjust the weight, which is very useful, a very simple system. And then of course add some baggage as well there. This airplane has a ceiling of what, like 16,000? It actually doesn't say anything on the POH, I checked that, but it can go above 10,000 feet, so it can go above altitudes where you need to use oxygen. And so you've got an oxygen bottle there, which you can refill by clicking on it, I think. Exactly, yeah, click to refill. And then you have this very nice oxygen mask modeled as well, which you just click on it and you start using it. So it's really nice. Is like the bottle animated to show the correct pressure as well?
Yes, it is. You have the indicator, so when you're flying, you'll know exactly how much oxygen you're still left on the tank.
So this is really good. You can just keep flying. You don't need to go into the menu. You just see how much oxygen do you have left by looking at the bottles. That's great. And then you finally have this center of gravity, like CG graph, which can tell you if you're inside the limits or outside of the limits. Now, probably, even if I put a lot of weight now because we have no fuel on the wings, we're always going to be fine. So this is
something that's pretty cool, and this is so like Jeffrey like really managed very well. Was if you start scrolling up the weights on the passengers, you'll see how much it is affecting your graph.
Yeah, I will do that once I
be
put some fuel.
You might be able to just load like no pilot, but load heavy passengers and baggage. You might be able to get it out of aft limits as opposed to over.
Let's try. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can see immediately if it's out of the range. So that's really, really nice. So it immediately gives like a visual representation. And I think this is actually very nice because, I mean, just speaking of myself, I remember every time I would look into a manual, like before I started training, and I would look into those graphs, and every time I looked at those graphs and they looked scary to me, like, oh my god, this is way too much complex, I'll never understand this. And it is so great to see this simple graphical representation of such an important thing. So you guys did a really good job, so congratulations on that. This is fantastic. I love it.
Vlad, I know exactly that feeling you had because I had the exact same feeling when Iceman said, "Hey, do you think we could do this graphically?" And I looked at it and was like,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And by the way, let me just welcome Niels Christensen. He's back on the stream. Hello, man. Haven't seen you for a while. I hope everything is good. Welcome. Hope you enjoyed this little presentation on the Seminole. All right, finally, we've got an extra point here. We can show the passengers interior views. So let's say we have a passenger sitting near to us. I think the door is open now. That's why it's not appearing. Yeah, exactly. So I close the door and the passenger appears. This is actually fairly realistic because when you're flying in real life, somebody's sitting next to you and you want to look through the right. Usually you have to like really move your head around to make sure you can see clear through the right side. So there is a nice option here to toggle the passenger as well as on the back, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. So this is really cool. But right now, the first leg, we're going to have no passengers, so I'll leave no passengers. And let's go onto the outside and actually show the fuel system, which you guys have been talking about. Because I think this is like, for me, this is what struck me the most. So guys, we come here close to the engines, where is the, the fuel cover, and we take the cover, and then this fuel nozzle appears with a nice box. Luckily, we don't have to pay for this fuel.
but we accept all major credit cards, guys.
Yeah, and now,
we're
guys,
working on Bitcoin. We are working on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is some part of like for example, all these items that were additionally modeled, like from Maverick, like he really did an amazing job. I was also like, when like Jeffory and Maverick, they know when there's like, oh, let's add this thing, and then he was like, what? Do you want to model like a fuel nozzle and just and so Maverick, like, give us a little bit of your insights on this thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this one was fun to do. It was pretty simple, though, but it takes time, like modeling is modeling. But when I gave it to Ice, it was a bit too big, so we had to reduce it. But other than that, it's fun. It's fun. All fun.
All right. Nice. So basically, what cool things we have apart from the fact we have to actually pump our fuel. I'm just trying to like do a couple of calculations, because this is already like what you do in real life. Like, okay, how much fuel do we need? Right now the plane is absolutely empty, so I'll actually one thing I forgot to show in the cockpit is, like, again, if you guys own the Seneca, you already know, but on the sunshade there is this excellent panel with the performance data for the cruise. This is straight from the pilot's operating handbook, so this is really, really useful. And as well, we've got the takeoff checklist and the landing checklist to make sure that we won't forget anything. And basically this airplane has like three rated power settings: the 55% rated power, 65% rated power, and 75% rated power. Now, just for planning purposes, I will use the 11 gallons an hour fuel consumption, because today our flights are not going to be very long, so we're going to have a lot of time on the climb out. I mean, not a lot of time, but some time on the climb out, run up and stuff, so we're going to definitely burn some more fuel than just accounting for the 55. So I'll just like roughly think our flight's going to take us about like 45 minutes probably in total time, so let's count an hour. And this is like, is this 11 gallons per hour per engine, or both engines?
Per engine.
Per engine. Okay, so this is important. So this is like, we're going to count 22 gallons per hour. So let's do 66. That will be 33 gallons per tank. So I'll just do like 3 hours of flight time. Now, as we make this calculation, we actually come here and we have to press and hold to pump fuel. So this is really nice. A cool fact, Iceman, you told me about the refueling, is that the refuel rate is actually the same as in the real life.
Yeah, these fuel pumps are rated like 20 gallons per minute. So this is this will take you the time to pump the fuel that you are actually doing. So this is what it will take you in the real aircraft to fuel this amount, to pump this amount of fuel.
So this is really nice. We actually get the exact experience of like how much time do you really require to fuel your Seminole, and I think that's quite nice. So I need 33 gallons per wing. So just finishing fueling the right one. This is really nice. Jean-Michel 33, hi everybody, sorry for being late. No problem, man. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We've got all the developers here ready.
As you can, we accept Visa, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, also Discover.
Yeah. I think you need to add like a disclaimer or like a sticker with like some discount or something, like if you pump more than 30 gallons you get like a 2% discount, or you get coupons or something.
Yeah, that will be fun, but probably they will want to make it like for real.
Yeah. So, and now you can, let's say we are approaching the 33, you can just click on it to make sure you add exactly how much do you need. So roughly 33, there we go. And now I can close this, and I can come to the other wing.
Yeah, one thing to yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's kind of fun too to have the POH open when you fuel too, because you can watch the graph and the numbers.
Oh yeah, I can show that.
Dynamically.
I can show that.
Like you can still squeeze it. It's a little unrealistic, but if you can open it up and get it out there.
Yeah, it's done. I'm doing it. So this is really nice, and you can see the graph moving, the weights are changing, everything is changing, so it's really nice. And this is also, I didn't want to show this already on the stream because I feel like this is cheating. So if you guys see this and you get this airplane and you want to fly it like the real guys, don't do this because this is cheating. Make your calculation, trust the, oh, I'm missing the name. Like this thing. So let's say right now we pumped 13 gallons. If we actually close this, you can see that the fuel counter resets. So the next time is like, okay, I haven't pumped enough fuel. I need to pump more. How much do I need to pump extra? You need to make the calculation. So this is actually really nice. In that case, we need 33. We had 13, so that's 20. Really nice. Pilot RL. Hey man, welcome to the stream. We're just refueling our airplane. Just about to get going.
Pilot RL, by the way, is the author of your Walkaround plugin.
Oh, really? Pilot RL. Hey, man, that's a great plugin. Really well done. I have to put the link on the description so people notice it. I will start using your plugin in my streams because it is really nice. And almost there. You know, this is where you usually talk to somebody, like the guy who fuels your plane or some colleague or something, or you just stand there and just like, yeah, okay, I'm refueling the airplane. And yeah, it's good when it's not too cold or not too hot or windy.
Bum a cigarette.
No. Then, in case somebody didn't understand, that was a very interesting joke. All right, so I have removed already all the static objects. In case somebody new watching, this is the pitot cover. You have the engine covers. They work simultaneously on both engines. And the chocks. So we have removed that. We now are absolutely sure that everything's going to be fine. We could do the light check as well on this airplane. Usually when you go... Well, in real life, when you go flying, you usually do a light check. Basically, just switch on the batteries, put every light on, and then you check if they work, so to make sure that everything is good. But do you guys want to see that, or?
So as you wish, mate.
Let's try. Let's just do everything. All the lights on. Let's just do it very quickly. So there we go. The landing and recognition light is on. We've got the nav. The strobe is working. Then we have a beacon somewhere on the tail, I think. It should be there. This is the navigation light. Oh, there's the beacon on the tail. And
well, the beacon in this particular aircraft, it's on the lower end. This is actually the real aircraft.
Yeah, I see it there.
As a reference. So it's fun because at the beginning I was telling Maverick, hey, what would you put like... Why you put like the beacon light on the bottom and like it was like
That's where it was.
Yeah.
That's where it was. So like I sure had to go back to the picture like, hey, you're right.
Luckily it has the tail strike protection there, otherwise it would be the tail strike protection, the beacon light, because it's really like in the back of the airplane. Nice. Okay, so every light is working. We could shut them down. And now we can just continue with our before start preparation. So I'll start from the bottom and I'll put the fuel on. So we already have the indication here, 54 gallons of usable fuel per side. Actually, the total is 55, but there's a gallon per wing, which we cannot use, as you guys maybe know or not know, depending. Props are full forward. I've got the cowlings open. Now this airplane doesn't have turbocharged engines and is not an injection system engine, right? Because this is carburetor. Yeah, it is. Is there like a turbocharged Seminole that your guys are planning to do or not?
At some point we thought about it, but if you want to experience a turbocharged, just go for the Seneca.
Yeah, I actually will agree with that. I think I kind of prefer non-turbocharged planes. I don't know why. Maybe because they are a little bit linear to like operate, but maybe that's just my personal preference.
I think that having like an aspirated engine, you know, it's always it gives you like an option of really to experience what the pistons engines are, right? You have like the aspirated engine, so you need to adjust your mixture as you climb, and do a more thoroughly like leaning the engines at different altitudes on your run-up tests, and
yeah,
and this is why we're like always trying to give something that helps people training, you know, gives us a little bit of a wider, I'm not going to say range, but like more options to really experience different types of engines rather than to doing just like another turbo engine.
Yeah, I agree. I also find that interesting as well when you come to like high pressure altitudes and you feel like the elevation and the performance just goes away. That's really nice to feel on those atmospheric engines. So that's really nice. I just want to see like what's the weather here in Palm Springs. Right now, guys, we are on VATSIM. We are in Palm Springs International Airport. And we're going to do like two relatively short hops. The first one is going to be really short. It's going to go to Banning Municipal Airport. Airfield, aerodrome, whatever. And from there, we're gonna pick some passengers there. I'm gonna go into Avalon, located in Catalina Island, which is a beautiful place. I've never been there, and I think this is the perfect plane to go there. So this is really nice. Okay, now you haven't modeled any of the circuit breakers. Are you planning into doing that?
That's something that it's still like to decide. Of course, it will go into the explain failures system, but something that, in my personal opinion, is that these failures, if you really want to have like the real thing out there, just like random, and you don't turn on like random failures, and you know that probably a failure is going to occur, right? This is not what happens in the real life. In the real life, you just go there, and then the failure occurs at the most unexpected moment, and you are actually not counting that it will happen.
Yeah.
So I think that just you going into the menu and just like triggering of a failure, and then okay, this trigger up the circuit breaker. I don't know. I'm still fighting personally with that option.
Okay.
And people are saying, okay, maybe you just pull the circuit breaker just to provoke a failure. Well, you don't do that actually on the aircraft as well. That's a no-no. And we are trying to have like an aircraft to train and not just start people playing around with the circuit breakers, right?
Yeah.
And then just provoke like a failure by pulling out the circuit breakers. But
I agree with that. I also don't think it's a very good idea to pull circuit breakers in flight, because it actually, for some reason, maybe it won't reset, and then you actually have a problem on your hands. Because I know instructors who do it, or like some instructors like to do it, and I've heard like somebody saying me like, listen, that's a very bad idea to do in flight, because it might not reset for whatever reason. Maybe like the button is old or not, or you just broke it or whatever, and it doesn't reset, and then you are without that simple. And actually, there was an accident here, happened in real life. They were doing like it was a twin engine airplane, and they pulled the circuit breaker to silence the gear horn, because they were doing some exercises, I don't remember what. And then what happened was, because they pulled the circuit breaker, they forgot about it, and then they went on to land, and they landed without the landing gear because they forgot, and because the gear warning horn was not active.
disabled,
Yeah, they basically crash landed on the runway. So this actually happened. But yeah, my idea with the circuit breakers would be like, okay, if like something happens, for me, this would be fun in a way, like you're flying and then all of a sudden like a radio stops working. And then you look at the circuit breaker panel and you actually see the circuit breaker popped, and you're like, okay, this shortened. We had like a short in our circuit. And then you just proceed like accordingly.
But the thing is that necessarily a radio failure doesn't mean that this is a short circuit, This is another of the reasons, like, okay, if you have like a radio failure and then you just pop out the circuit breaker, I mean, it's not really real, right? There could be like several things why your radio suddenly stopped working. Of course, one of them is like a short circuit, but I mean, there could be so many other things. Maybe your screen just went out, right? And there's no circuit breaker popping. Maybe, I mean, there's several things. And so it's not necessarily tied that any failure will just pop out the circuit breaker. That's mostly like a problem within the electrical system of the buses and the load of the amperage that it's been driven that will pop up a circuit breaker. To really have a circuit breaker panel that works properly will take really like a lot of time to design that. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jeffrey, but I think that to have the real logic of like how many times you've been flying, like what are the weather, it's been in conditions, if the airplane, it's been on like for how many time was left, there's several factors.
Oh yeah.
And I think that this will really be a major like system, like failure system, just to pop out the circuit breakers. What do you think, Jeffrey?
No, I mean, I agree. And the question is, if you're trying to do it for realism, then it's, then you have to analyze how often does it really happen in real life, and the effort to go into that to try to emulate that would be a little counterproductive, I think.
No, I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah, to have such systems, I don't know. You need to sell the aircraft for, I don't know, like 200 or something.
Well, yeah. I mean,
just to have a return on investment.
Torque does it, and yeah, it's pretty expensive. Like they did it on the Cirrus, and they have like all the circuit breakers modeled, and yeah, the airplane is expensive. It's like what, $70, I think, the Cirrus. And then there is like the Marchetti, the SF260. It has everything modeled as well, and it's like $45, I think, or yeah, something like it. So yeah, definitely the airplane.
But I can assure you that it's not like a real thing. There's some circumstances.
Oh no,
of popping out stuff, like popping out a circuit breaker. It's
yeah.
I think I mean, to have something working the way we have our philosophy working, that it's not just popping a circuit breaker for popping a circuit breaker because it's a failure right now. I don't know. I just make it different, and it will take, it will take a long time, and I don't think it's really worth it for the flight sim community to do it and then just charge an insane amount of like out of the market price just for a product that has real failure. The circuit breakers will pop out at some point.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's start up the airplane real quick. We have a couple of questions, so let me just start up the airplane really quick, get the engines warmed up. We get going and we start answering some of the questions in the chat. So startup is very simple. Let's make sure we've got the fuel selected to on. We've got the mixture forward. The cowling flaps are open. In case you guys don't know what cowling flaps are, basically it's these things, and their function is to cool the engine or keep it warm. Basically, you use the cowling flaps usually on the ground to keep the engine cool because you don't have too much airflow going through the engines, and then usually on the cruise and descent they are closed to keep an engine on an optimum temperature and as well to not give any thermal shock into the engine. And then usually you will open them again after landing or during the go around, because then the engine will produce a lot of heat so that you don't overheat the engine. All right, so the mixtures are full forward, the props are full forward. I've turned on the battery master. You can see there the fuel is being displayed correctly. Alternator left and right is going to come on. I'm going to push already the mags on all the sides. Beacon light is going to go on. Now we do have one switch for both the beacon and the strobe. So if you press once, that's the beacon. If you press it again, that's going to be for the strobe. So beacon on. Always make sure that the radio master is off for the start. And then I can switch on the fuel pumps. You can actually hear the fuel pumps working. So, and also you might have noticed I opened the window, and that actually makes a difference. All right, good. And now I'm just gonna hit start, open a little bit the throttle, and hit starter on the right. We're gonna look for the oil pressure, and let's go. And there we go, have a good start on number 2. Just make it stable at around 1000 RPM. And let's start the left engine.
Yeah, something quickly about the avionics to mention is just that GTN 750 is only available with the RHP add-on. That's the only thing that you really need to know. We have the G5 option as well, but it's also with the reels in gear options. And the reason we're doing like this is because just to keep things affordable, just not to have too many things that will add on the price. So there are some really nice add-ons that you can buy and use in your aircraft, and I think that this just make our product like compatible with these developers that are doing a really amazing job. And I mean, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Oh yeah, and I wonder if I have flooded the engine because the left engine doesn't want to start. So I might have. I might have flooded the engine, because this can be possible, right? I can flood the engine.
It can be possible.
Yeah, alright, so that I probably just did that. So let me try and hit the starter, and then I'll just apply the mixture. Slowly. Doesn't look like so. Well, I haven't forgotten about anything. The other one started fine. What could I be doing wrong here?
Close the mixture and then just wait until the gas on the engine goes away.
Do I switch the fuel pump off? I think I do.
No? Just off.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's good. And I keep the other engine. This one keeps here, and now I click.
Just start increasing the mixture.
Ah, there we go. All right. Nice. So there we go. That was a wet start. Excellent. Very well. That's a plus for realism and a minus for me. Very well. Now, guys, I forgot to show you something. You can actually add as well, like the main avionics, the HSI and so on, can be changed. I forgot to do that. So you can, if you have the G5, now that I started the engine, I can't change it. But basically, if you have the G5 for the ADI and HSI with the real sim gear, it is working. I do not have it. Just remember to switch it once you, remember to switch it before you start the engines, because once you started the engines, no way of going back.
Yeah, you're not able to switch the avionics package anymore. Just so.
All right, guys, I hate to interrupt, but I'm actually up against another family event, so I'm gonna let you enjoy your flight, and I'm really glad that you're enjoying the aircraft, and can't wait for it to release.
Oh, thank you so much, mate, for being here. I mean, your work is amazing, and we're so happy that you're part of the team. And just to know, like Jeffory is, he's a masterpiece of designing aircraft. So
yeah, thanks for coming by and answering all those questions. It's been great to meet you as well, and we'll definitely catch with you later as well, because I'm 100% sure there will be more Captain Iceman products coming up later on.
All right, guys, cheers. Take care.
Bye-bye, man.
Cheers. Thanks so much, mate.
All right, landing light's gonna come on. Let's start taxiing. We have a fairly short taxi to the runway. Let me just make sure that that we have nobody online. I mean, yeah, I'm not even online on VATSIM, so maybe it's too late to connect now, so I'll just go without it. So let's just make sure I'm not lost. Runway should be somewhere on our left there. So we keep the engines usually at 1000 RPM to 800, I think, to warm up. Basically, we want to see the oil temperature into the green before we do the run up, to make sure we don't have any damage on the engines. And now we've got some questions there. Emil, welcome to the stream. We just had the entire team of developers. Now that Jeffory have left, but Maverick is still with us, so we definitely will appreciate some extra stuff on the modeling and ask some questions as well. Ludo is saying, to cross feed we have to shut off the fuel first. Interesting. Yeah, I think you have to go through the off, but as you go very quickly, basically, like, the time is very small and you don't lose enough fuel. Plus there's like fuel in the fuel lines, so it should be good. Syncrash Flyer 297 asking, will we see more Captain Iceman aircraft in the future?
Yes, we will have more aircraft. It's just, as you notice, like we were just a very small developer team, and of course we take our time to do the stuffs, the things the right way. So it's impressive how you when you start like building, you know, an airplane, you decide, oh, I'm gonna create an aircraft for X-plane, and Maverick can that now is part of it, and he's in the modeling side, and then he's like thinking, okay, it's just the modeling, but what everything the rest that's involved, you know, like the flight model, you know, it's something that's very important. I mean, you can have a very beautiful 3D model all working, blah blah, but if you fly it and then it's just a banana.
Yeah.
A flying banana, and it's not behaving like the real thing. I mean, you just drop the atom immediately because you want to fly and feel it like at least something that you can handle and that can help you and you can enjoy. And it happened to me with so many add-ons that they're well modeled and stuff, but then I started flying them and I don't know, I flew like a couple of times and then I just dropped them off because it's about how they fly and how they perform, and it's so many things that are involved. It's the 3D model, the flight model, like the software, you know, like it's driving things behind, because even that you can create an aircraft for X-plane just by using, let's say, no plugin or no defaults, or only the defaults. There's so much things that are missing to bring it to the next level that you need to learn how to code, how to use the data refs, how to use the stuff, how everything is related to each, because each portion is a system. Even in here, right? You have the 3D system, you have the animations, you have the flight model, then you have how everything is related to all the stuff, just to drive what is driving what into the animations of the 3D of the 3D model from plane maker, and then also like the sound, and it's so many things that it starts to grow. So like Maverick, like if he can talk us about a little bit about his experience, like he has been modeling, he's a 3D modeler for a long time ago, but then just like for me going with him through the ropes of explaining like how things needs to be done and model and reference and explain those. So if you can tell us a little bit more about it, that would be great, mate.
Yeah, like it's a bit different from other stuff that I'm used to do. But in this case, we had a lot of reference pictures we had to go take in the winter. It was super fun. But but you build it, and it's not easy because you need to be very precise. You need to follow the exact measurement of the length of this, the length of that. A lot of reference from the web we need to go get to make sure that we have the right information. And then you start to build the models. But like I said, it's a very fun process. It's a very long process. But that's why like we need to make sure that the next project that we gonna be doing, that we have the right reference. We like to take pictures to make sure like we have the right textures, we have the right the color, the feel of the airplane also is very important. Because it brings also the realist after it's done, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the dimensions, right? Like we have on the scale, we have like the avionics and the instruments and the gauges and everything have the exact same dimensions that they have the real counterparts. So I can tell you that the avionics have like an average just minus plus like plus minus 0.1 millimeter, but it's like almost like 16 centimeters from of width. By some of radios have 4.5, so they have like 6 centimeters of height. So everything is being referenced to the real counterparts and to the real dimensions. And I think that this is something that makes the panel look so good and proportion to the real thing, you know.
Yeah. That's really nice, and I don't know, but I really like how it is modeled inside of the cockpit as well. I mean, the entire plane just feels like it feels concise. Everything feels in its place, not like it's different and you have something very good and then there is something that stands out because it's a little bit different or it's bad. No, everything just fits together so well on the airplane, and that's really well done. Really nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've done the real I would like to thank Richelieu College of Piloting there. That's where my son is actually studying to be a pilot. That they let us go take pictures and stuff of their plane, and what you see is what they have there. Like, I'm not saying that they all have the same options, but most of the position of all the buttons and stuff, it's their plane. Yeah.
That's really nice. All right, so if you guys have noticed, I've already completed the run up. We are ready for the departure. If you guys can see there, we have an option to toggle the headsets, which is really nice. In case there's like a long cruise or something, we can use that to mute the audio, but the outside doesn't get affected, I think. Yeah, the outside looks to be fine. And I just wanted to point out, for takeoff, we usually use flaps up attitude. And then because the Piper uses the handle flaps, basically if you click on it once, it goes instantly. In case you want to do it smoothly, you just have to press it for a little bit longer, and then the flaps deployment is slower. Just like I'll show you now. I'm gonna click once. You can see the flaps go really quick. And now I'm gonna hold to the flaps down lever, and I'm gonna hold it again. You can see this makes a difference, because on a real airplane, from what I heard when you fly the Pipers, because the airflow actually makes enough pressure that you're not able to push this lever as quickly as you think you can. But on the sim we don't have that feeling, so just press the flap button for a little bit longer and then the flap will come into place. Alright, let's take off. This first flight is going to be really short, so we're just going to climb to something like 3,000 feet. Go visually through the valley, visual circuit, approach, land some, get some passengers, and then get going and continue with the questions. So let's pull the engines and let's see how this Piper actually flies. And slowly advance the lever. Oh, I love the sounds. RPM is checked, airspeed is alive. And 70 knots, rotate slowly. And away we go. Now, let's accelerate for 88 knots. That's the blue line. And gear up. Bring the airplane. Landing light off. I'll just leave the recognition light on. And guys, if you trim this airplane properly, I'm flying with it basically empty, so just me inside. So it's a little bit easier to maneuver it, but this airplane is steady like a rock, and it's amazing to fly. I love it. One of the best two-hand fly. So this is really, really good. And now, while I fly and do this this small flight, you guys can continue answering the questions. There is a question from Climb to 370. I'm wondering your thoughts on PlaneMaker. When you designed the model in PlaneMaker, how close were you out of the box of real-life performance? How accurate are the predictions from X-Plane PlaneMaker?
That's a really good question. When you come up to start developing an aircraft, something that you need to take into account is that X-Plane is like PlaneMaker and X-Plane are very physical in terms of their flight model, and how the physics and the dynamics and everything else are involved is something that is important, that you know which values you need to dial properly. One of the things that is very important, and that's based on the geometry of the aircraft when you start designing like the bodies and the design, it's that you really need to be not super accurate, because of course you cannot, it's not the same as modeling in Blender and stuff, but you really need to have like a good geometry of the aircraft, of how the air flows over the fuselage, where are the wings, where is the tail, how the control surfaces are attached to the wings and to the tail, and something else very important, and something else that is really important as well is your CG and your weight stations. Where are you putting them? It's important. I see some developers that they just put for example, the fuel tanks, right? Just somewhere near the CG, but then they put it very close to the fuselage, and they are not there. They are a little bit more on towards the middle portion of the wings. So that is a major difference. That makes a major difference in the stability of your aircraft, because if everything is so centered, all your weights are so centered towards the fuselage, you lose that maneuverability and that feeling of weight that you should have in the wings, particularly with tanks full. Where are the CG stations? Where is your CG, or where is the CG of the aircraft? What is your datum that you're using to get everything in place? That is also a very, very important thing. Other things is about geometry, which NACA profile, which NACA airfoil you're using for which part. Something that we found, for example, like for the Seneca and Seminole, is that if you go to the stabilator, it's a stab tab, so it's not an elevator with the stabilator. It's a tab, so it moves completely. Mm-hmm. And it behaves differently. So you need to model that right to explain into plane maker as well, just to make sure that the force that the stabilator is doing based on the length of the aircraft is the right amount, and you have the right geometry, and even that you have the right profile. Because in this case, for this Piper aircraft, like the airfoil of the staff is not a symmetrical one. It's an inverted one, and we designed a special airfoil to match more closely what you would expect to have for the airfoil of the staff in the Piper aircraft that have this configuration. Like the Seneca, the Cherokees, the Seminole. If you take a closer look, you'll see that the staff has the airfoil is inverted, and that helps with the stability of the airplane. Another thing that's important is how you manage, the drag of the landing gear and stuff, the power of the aircraft, the power of the engines, where the engines are within the flight model. And after that, you make sure that everything is in the right place. Then you go to test flying, right? And then it's a little bit of like you tweaking here and there, and some problem missing something. You go back to plane maker, you make the small finance adjustments. Like every single control surface of the Seneca and Seminole, they have the right values of angle deflections that are in the service manuals of both aircrafts. So we put very special attention on that. How many, what's the deflection of control surfaces, for example, for the ailerons is not the same that you deflect on when the aileron is up and when the aileron is down. It deflects more degrees when the aileron is down than when the aileron is up. The same happens with the staff. The only one that is symmetrical in its deflection, of course, it's a rudder. But even like the trim tab, like the servo tab that has the Seneca and the Seminole in the stabilator, it has a particular geometry that deflects in a certain amount of degrees based on how much the main stab tab is deflecting. So it's very important that you know exactly. I have this friend of mine that was trying to bring one of abandoned models for X-Plane 11 to X-Plane 12. I'm not going to say the developer because that's not fair, but he was telling me, I cannot make this airplane stable. What should I move into plane maker to make it stable so I can hand fly it? And it's like, let's take a look at it. I mean, the flight model was so broken. I said, like, dude, you need to throw out this flight model and just start from scratch. There's so many things that are wrong, like just by the basic geometry of the control of the control surfaces. It's not worth to try to fix this, and everything is so related. So if you want to make it like real stable, let's start by looking at the geometry and the control surfaces of the aircraft, and then at the CGs. For example, they have it's a small aircraft. It's a Cessna 170, and it has like 4 seats, but they put four weight stations for each seat, and that's not how you load this aircraft. You have one station at the front row, one station on the back row, and another station on the baggage. If you start like putting different stations, like just one for the left seat front, one for the right seat front, one for the back seat right, and one for the back seat left, and you're starting to play with some other factors that if you put weight on the pilot seat but not weight on the co-pilot seat, it will start banking.
Yeah.
And it will start banking towards the pilot, and then the next time you load it, why this is not stable? And in the real life, the stations are based because that amount, the weight from the right seat, from the left seat, is just adds the center of gravity, because they're so close, the stations, to the center of gravity, that it's just considered as a single unit. Even like bigger airplanes, like the 737, like airliners and stuff, they don't have a weight station for each seat. They are separated in different.
It's like groups.
Different areas. It's like groups, exactly. That those passengers that sit in that certain group that has a datum reference to the CG, that has a momentum and that controls your weight and balance. It's a single unit. So, and that's how this is how the aircraft like really behave in terms of CG. So CG is very important, that you have the right geometry and that you have like the right position from the datum, and basically, yes, it's a lot of, after that, it's tweaking here, there, and there, because there's some factors that you cannot have. I mean, you can have them from the POH or from some performance charts, things like the drag, but then you start going into a rabbit hole. So it's basically have a good flight model with the right characteristics, right geometry, right center of like the right engines and stuff, and then just start doing some test flights and see what needs to be adjusted. For example, in this case, even that we had the airfoil of the staff correctly, we need to adjust a little bit the angle of incidence of that staff, just to make it feel it more natural in terms when you're taking off and when you're doing the flare.
Yeah, that's really good. I think a very insightful answer. And basically, as Climb2370 says, so basically draw it like a potato in Plane Maker, it will fly like a potato. Thank you for your time and answer.
Yeah, it's no, thank you for asking. It's very important. I think was a very interesting question. I see some of the questions. Are you going to continue to Piper? We're going to keep with the Piper line for our next project. We're not going, not officially still yet, but probably we are 95% that it will be like the Piper Navajo Chieftain 350. And it's because we already have modeled and created a lot of Piper assets that we just want to test ourselves and bring the bar a little bit higher with a bigger aircraft. And then from there we will see what else we have.
Their Didier Lambert said, credit card is ready. Sync Crash Flyer 297 saying, take my money. And by the way, Shay TP, welcome to the stream. I hope you're fine. Just in time for the first landing. I'm going to fly to Catalina now, so it's going to be nice. Enjoy the flight. And Dr. Doom is asking, when is this beauty going to get released?
We are expecting to be released just probably the week before Christmas. We are just in the last stage of test flying with some test pilots, but it's already looking really, really good. Our webpage is already up, and yeah, just probably we want to add a couple of more liveries just to have a little bit more variation on your liveries. A paint kit is going to be is already available on the website, with Photoshop and Substance Painter. Also like an OBJ just for as a reference.
And speaking of that, I need to add the link for the website on the description. So I'm going to do this now because we just landed on our first destination. And I am gonna... There you go. So the link is now on the description. And I just want to show real quick because I forgot to do it. The real sim gear, the G5. There you go. You can change it and it works beautifully. I've seen it on the... well, Captain Iceman showed me through Discord how it works, and it's amazing. So if you have it, very worth. If not, fine, it's good as well. So let's just pick up some passengers. You guys saw during the flight, I flew the entire flight, hand flown, how stable this airplane is. It is fantastic. We're gonna just pick up some passengers here, some load there, and you guys will see the airplane being a little bit more heavy. So this is really nice, and I'm gonna just continue flying. You guys keep talking. It's just very amazing. I'm enjoying, and there are some great questions out there. There is Jose Pagan asking, I'm new with flight sims, and for now I'm happy with my C172 reality expansion pack, but this looks like a nice future upgrade. Oh, absolutely. Papa Kilo, any autopilot systems on board? Yes, there is an autopilot. I will show it a little bit now on the flight, but if Captain Iceman wants to speak about the autopilot, I'll just let him talk while I'll start this airplane again.
Yeah, we have modeled the STIC 55X autopilot in its basic functions. We're planning to add a little bit more of the STIC real functionality as we along with the upgrades. We just didn't want to delay one more the release of the moment, but as people that already have the Seneca, they know that we are always like pushing the envelope and just making the systems as accurate as their rear counterparts. And but yeah, we have the autopilot, and it's a STIC 55X based system. It goes and works with the G5, so the G5 will tell you which autopilot modes are engaged. And it works as well just with ADI and the HSI properly, and also with the GPS. So
it's excellent.
Yep.
Okay, let's see what else. Чисто Lomix, I'll answer this one in Russian. Привет. Стримов на русском сейчас не будет, но рад тебя здесь видеть. Надеюсь, у тебя все хорошо. Jan Michelle 33 saying, I have the Seneca, live tonight on YouTube for X84 simulation. Guys, everybody who doesn't own the Seneca, there you go, there's a live stream for you to check it out. How is the Piper Seneca already, and then compare it with this one. Jan Michelle 33, like this plane, and my credit card is ready for this one. Seminole. Thanks, and bravo, nice job. Asim says, nice textures. Synchro Flight 207 saying, nice. Jen Michelle, the week before Christmas is super. Yeah, I think this is a perfect Christmas present. So everybody who needs to find an excuse to purchase this plane, there you go. It's Christmas, so that's the perfect excuse.
And just stay up until Santa Claus arrives.
Yeah.
And they'll arrive on the Seminole.
We'll arrive on the Seminole through there.
Oh yeah. So let me do the magneto check and the propeller check again. So set the parking brake, let's off. Now guys, in case you want to see already a little bit of the procedures, I'm not pro on this airplane yet, but it's relatively simple. So for the engine check, first you spool the engines to 1500 RPM, and then you do the feather check. There you go. There's the first check, and now I just need to find click spot, and the other engine is checked as well. Now you advance the throttle to 2000 RPM, and you do governor checks basically to make sure that the propellers moved. I can do actually both at the same time, they work, so that is excellent. And now we go and we check the magnetos. So one at a time, you switch it off, you watch the RPM drop, you switch it back on, it recovers, that is good. So the RPM drops have to be within 150 RPM, so that's the maximum drop, and the maximum difference, I think it's like 100 or 70 something. I can't remember exactly, but somewhere along the lines of that. back on, and the other one. This is checked. Now I noticed something. This airplane, I can't find the suction indication. Is there like a gauge which I don't see somewhere?
No, this doesn't have the suction indicator.
This doesn't have. All right. So I'll just check the carb. Make sure that it is working, because you guys know with the engines with carburetor, you can have icing on your intakes. Even with positive temperatures, it can be like +20, and you can have ice. So there you go, the engines are checked. Everything is on. Let's put the transponder to alt mode. Landing light, strobe and recognition
Yes,
on.
something that you're missing, and this is something that is for aspirated engines. It's like you need to pull the mix down
Okay,
to get max RPM. So basically, you put it into 1800 RPMs.
okay,
And then you start leaning the mixture a little bit to get max RPMs.
okay. And this is...
This is for any aspirated engine.
Oh, interesting. And
Even
you
for
leave the
fuel
mixture like
injection.
this for takeoff, right?
Yes, exactly, because that means that that's your stoichiometric mixture, and that's when the engines are at the most peak of H power.
Oh, that's excellent. All right, so I'll leave it like there. Beautiful. Let's go. Let's take off. Now that the airplane is heavier, I already feel it. Like even when taxiing, it already feels a little bit heavier. Like it takes a little bit more power to accelerate. So this is really nice. I mean, like we just got 3 passengers and some cargo on the back. And let's go. And full power. RPM checked, airspeed is alive. I love this sound. 70 knots, rotate. Now, nice and slow. Let it accelerate to 88. Gear up. Beautiful. I already feel the weight. This is so, so nice. Landing light off. And now let's start climbing it to 100 knots. Amazing. It's really nice. I mean, I'm using live weather, by the way, so there are some gusts somewhere along the way. You guys can see, and the airplane just flies beautifully. Okay, we've got enough altitude. I'm going to start a nice left turn. And now we're going to proceed inbound Catalina. Now, I forgot to actually plan the GPS inbound to Catalina, because I know it's somewhere in the back, but I don't know the exact route. I knew this one. This one was very simple. Just enter the valley, you'll see the airport. But I don't know the flight to Catalina, but it's alright. And we're going to fly the entire thing by hand, so you guys can see actually how nice this is. Okay. Didier Lambert saying, yeah, PA31 350. That's the big Piper you showed me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that airplane as well. I think X-Plane is missing this kind of like not as big as the Dash Q 400 or 200 or 100 airplanes, but not as small as some general aviation airplanes. Like there's this, I feel like there's an empty space on like mid turboprops, piston prop engines. So that, yeah, this is really nice.
And we're looking also for aircraft that is kind of like missing in this in the spectrum, right? Like I mean, at some point there was an a King Air stuff, but there are some. I mean, why would we want to do like a King Air if Air for Labs have like a really nice King Air, you know?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, we don't want to compete on it. We want to have like really aircraft that is not there, and just to have an additional option on what we're doing. But yeah, it's just as we said, we're just 3 on the team at this point. And the other developers have like 10, 15 guys on their team, and then they just can split out like a bigger aircraft.
Yeah.
several parts. But we just trying to push the bar, and of course like making making the studio grow a little bit more. And well, yeah, I think that the Piper, like the Navajo Chieftain PA31 like 350, it's a good option to still be on the piston engine with a bigger aircraft and a pressurized cabin.
But I think that's excellent. I still think that's excellent. And being the piston as well, if you would do the turboprop, I think that's just one more. And there's like a lot of turboprops already out there. So it's definitely really nice to be a little bit different. So it's great. It's really great. I'm very looking forward to that. Guys, just check this out. We're climbing out. I have trimmed the airplane, and it's flying. It's doing wonderfully. It's just amazing. I really like this airplane. It's just so good. Okay, what else do we have there? Climb to 370 has another question about aircraft systems. Not sure what you are using for coding the systems as plugins. XLua, Sassel, Gizmo, etc. How hard is it to code a real-life system, an autopilot?
I mean, it's not hard, but what it takes time. You need to, if you want to build it from scratch, you need to overwrite it completely, like the X-plane, and then just start doing your own autopilot. But you need to have a clear roadmap about all the autopilot logics. I mean, the answer is, if you know your coding, I mean, it's not hard. It just takes time, and sometimes it depends. You need to like balance between what you already have out of the box from X-plane and what are the systems that you are trying to achieve, and what's the complexity of those systems that you want to achieve. I think that in our case, for example, the ADF and DME, they're custom made, and they behave exactly like their real counterparts. And it's been like a mixture of like half and half of coding our own stuff with some of the X-plane values that are already there. But yeah, they just behave exactly like their real counterparts, and this is our goal that we'll be looking for the STK autopilot. Sorry, for this particular model, because the STK autopilot can come into so many different configurations. You know, you have like the altitude selector, you have like the annunciator panel, that in this case, in the Seminole of the school, it didn't have an annunciator panel, and like the control steel whirring mode. There's so many differences that you need to really adapt the autopilot, in this case, like the base frame, the foundation of the autopilot, to your aircraft avionics and what you have on board. So it's a little bit of both, but yeah, you just need to like really go through a workflow of coding. For coding, it's a little bit of Sassel and Lua, because it's I think it's like friendly, and it just does a good job, and it performs really fast. So that's I think that's I hope that will answer your question. Climb to 370.
Yeah, I think that's great. ASIM is saying, does circuit breakers work in this aircraft? It's not that a priority, but it's good to have. We actually spoke about circuit breakers in the beginning of the stream. There was like a very big talk about circuit breakers, and the ideas, as I understood right now, is not to do them, because to do them exactly like they should work in a real airplane, there's such a big job to have them. And then if it's just to trigger like a failure, so let's say you want to just like pop a circuit breaker for some reason, then it's like not the best practice to be done in real life, and that's why as well it's not going to be done. Plus, if this would be added like to the entire aging of the airplane. So let's say you flew, I don't know, 100 cycles, and then you're gonna have like this problem because you haven't switched off the radio masters on the startup, and then you had like electricity spike and whatnot. So there is like a lot of coding for that, and it's very complicated. So I don't know if you, Captain Iceman, we want to add a little bit on that side.
Yeah, it's because to really have the circuit breaking, as we're talking about, like from the electrical system, is not straightforward. It's not having, again, like the failures. You just create a failure of your random system, and then it just pops out the circuit breaker. I mean, that's not what happens in real life. A pop out of circuit breaker is just because of a short circuit in the system. It needs to be very specific, and sometimes you have a circuit breaker pops out from the fuel pumps, right? And then you just like you have the practice. No, just put it back and then not put it in, and then if you put it back like the third time, the circuit breaker will cause like an explosion into the tank because if it's in the fuel tank. And I mean, there's so many variables about the circuit breakers that honestly, and not because I think it doesn't add to the experience of what we're offering within the rest of the aircraft. It's just like, okay, it's fun to just pull out the circuit breakers, or the pop if you have a failure.
Yeah.
You'll plug it back in, and then the failure will go away. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to have a more complex logic. Like what if you pull it back again, and then you cause a fire, an electric fire.
No, that's totally true.
So it's more complex than just, and I don't like just to have things on the aircraft, just to have things that look fun to pull out stuff and things. We have the circuit breakers in the Seneca for one purpose, and that is only for people that want to configure like I don't want the icing panel. Okay, so in the Seneca, the purpose to pull out the circuit breaker before you start the engines is to configure your aircraft to have a de-icing system, or to have like the hot plate on the top, because many people, they don't like the hot plate on the windshield. So what we did is, like, instead of having different versions, okay, you don't want the hot plate, okay, you just pull the circuit breaker for the windshield, and that's and for the hot plate, and then you are disabling completely before starting the flight the hot plate. The same with the icing panel. You don't want the icing because that your aircraft or whatever you want to try not de-icing on the props. You just pull the circuit breaker and the panel goes away, but it has a specific functionality that is disabling completely a system.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree on that, and I hope that answers Absim's question. Cooler is saying, I hope my cargo is not a problem. I'm bringing bricks and sandbags. No, that's totally fine. I think this Piper has strong enough engines to to get onwards. Global 6000 is saying, hello, isn't it weird that outside with the nose light it's the old model and the panel is the newer panel? I will answer that on my own. I think, well, at least I'll give my answer to that, and I think it's not weird because a lot of times people buy old airplanes and then they do avionics upgrades, and I don't find that I don't find anything wrong with that, because I think today it's actually more difficult to maintain an old panel airworthy than actually getting a new panel or installing like different avionics. It's a little bit more effective, and it's better as well for your navigation. So I don't know, I actually find it kind of funny. I mean, we have an example like the 737-200 that's been done by FlyJSim. They will have like the entire modernized cockpit with the UNS, or how is that called, the navigation system. So no.
Yeah, the same happened with the 727 Super, like a 200 Super, that they just completely redo the panel just to have to be two pilots instead of and they got rid of the flight engineer. So this is happening, and we thought that at some point that would be nice to have, like the old lights, as you said, with a little bit more modernized panel, and some bits here and there, like you find it more in your aircraft.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Polaris saying, I've been saying the same about turboprops. There are so many good airliners and small planes, but missing the mid-sizes. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And I'm really looking forward for this next Piper as well. And even more, actually, because it has the piston engines and it's not a turboprop. Because, you know, if that would be a turboprop, probably it would have felt like, okay, this is another one, just another one turboprop, another C90B, another Metroliner, another King Air, whatnot. But no, it's actually difficult, and I forgot to close the cowling flaps. That's why we're not accelerating. And as you can see, I've closed the cowling flaps, and now we are accelerating to our cruise speed. So guys, if you actually fly this airplane and you forget to close your cowling flaps, your performance is going to drop just as it drops on a real airplane. Because, I mean, the cowling flap is basically like a small spoiler under the engine, so there you go. And by the way, I am hand flying this airplane. We have leveled at 9,500 feet, and it's flying beautifully. We do have some like small gusts here and there, but so far the airplane is flying absolutely amazingly. We are tracking on the GPS. We got 26 minutes to Catalina Island, and I am thinking about putting some sunset onto the approach, because it's going to be over the water, and I think sunset colors will be especially great for the approach. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do some. And as well, check out the night lighting. By the way, I forgot. I really wanted to do a disclaimer, but I forgot to do the disclaimer. This airplane is still work in progress. So if you guys see any visual bugs or something that's not done, it's because it's not finished actually. So now said that, I think it's already very, very good, and that's excellent. That's wonderful. So. Okay.
Where you're just we're just in the final phase of tech checking, like a little bit everything. You know, it's so you start like tech checking the 3D model, the textures, the stuff, the cockpit and things, and it's so many things that are like really involved. That we're just doing our final tech check pass.
Oh yeah. And now you spoke about the circuit breakers and the anti-icing and so on. Now the Seneca has the anti-icing boots. I mean, they are interchangeable, so you can have them or you can remove them. But this one does not have an anti-icing system or a de-icing system, apart from like the pitot heat, I think. Yeah, pitot heat, and you've got like this stuff here that's related to like cabin heat and so on. Does the fans work? Like if you switch on the cabin heat?
The cabin heat is the bottom switch will work. That's a fan. Okay. So that's a defroster. The other ones are just ventilation.
Okay. All right. So this is cool. By the way, I think X-Plane wanted to like implement window fogging and so on. Is this airplane gonna have that?
This already has the window fogging if you go in icing conditions, and it has has the rain droplets. So that's already.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. Global 6000 is saying my old Seminole had this nose light, but the magneto and fuel pumps panel on the left side at the knee. Like right here?
Yeah, it was a little bit more like the configuration of the Seneca, where the magnetos and the switches and everything were on the left panel.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
But that was like the Seminole also, like the old panel as well was pretty much resembled as the Seneca one, and but this new panel, this configuration is just like the metal panel, not the plastic one that has everything on the side. So. The thing is that we wanted also, like with this a little bit, to have not something that looks like too much to the Seneca, you know. That's also like the thought process, to have like a different, more modern paddle, and not the old Seminole panel with the things like, because we already have that in the Seneca. So it's, you know, we thought that it was a good idea just to have like the old model on the exterior and the newer panel on the inside, like a reform, like you know, even like the seats and everything look more not old. So
Yeah, I agree. By the way, guys, just check this out. I have trimmed the airplane, and basically I haven't touched it for like, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes, and we just lost like, what, 200 feet. So, and we lost those probably because of the explained weather, because there's like gusts and whatnot happening around us, so the air is not completely still. But just to show you how stable this airplane actually is, it is so nice. So let me just recover my 9,500 feet, get back on track, and continue answering. I just muted. I've put the headsets on, so the noise is now suppressed. So it's really nice on the long flights to have a little bit of rest to your ears. As we are onwards to Catalina, we have 20 minutes actually onto the flight. Maybe we'll do like a scenic flight around Catalina and then do a visual approach. Now, even though we're flying today basically the entire time only visually, with this exception of using the GPS to get a direct to Catalina, this airplane can be flown in IFR conditions. Not icing conditions, but IFR conditions, so you can shoot your ILS, VOR approaches, even RNP approaches. Just make sure you do them correctly. And I actually have a question for that. Speaking about RNP, does this airplane allow for like LNAV, VNAV approaches? I mean, it doesn't have a VNAV, but will it get any like vertical guidance, or you have to shoot the 2D approach and then...
you need to follow, like, this is like sorry, for the with the WAS system of the GNS avionics, you can do the LNAV approaches. Of course, if you want to like practice, or you know, like the only ILS and things and stuff, it's better to switch to the old school panel configuration.
Okay.
Something that is not, it's worth to know that this in the GPS approach, in an RNP approach, so we have like talking about if the flight director is supposed to follow the glide slope of the GPS. So that's a no-no. So it's only LNAV. You need to compile with what is published on the charts for an LNAV approach and check your descent rate with the speeds to have like a constant descent speed rate, a constant speed descent speed, with the constant velocity, airspeed indicated. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's only let's say certified for LNAV.
Yeah, but that's still great. I mean, you can basically go anywhere with this airplane, but it's excellent. I mean, nice sunset we've got there. I think this is, what is this region of United States called? I mean, we're basically close to Los Angeles. I don't know how this region is called, but yeah, pretty nice. Now, Killer saying closest at quality is probably the E170, but that's still a modern jet. Yeah, I mean, it's still a jet. It's like everything's automatic, and it's too fast, and you can't go with the 170 to like some gravel runways. Maybe like if you want to fly to some, I don't know, maybe mountain, or like enjoy British Columbia or some Alaska strips, that gets really difficult. And then you either land again at the turboprops area where they're like the King Airs, but again the King Airs take quite a lot of runway, and then it all depends. I mean, the C90B is fine, but the bigger ones are a little bit different. Syncrash Flyer 297 saying consolidated PBY Catalina will be cool. Oh, I think that probably would be quite difficult to model the PBI, because it's such a unique airplane, and it also depends a lot on the water physics, but I don't know. I'm honestly waiting for that Piper 31 first. Jose Pagan is saying, oh, it's nice to have a break from Explain 12 Eternal Blue, lol. Yeah, I get you. We're gonna have a nice sunset. It's gonna be quite beautiful. And I mean, I love the model. Maverick, are you still here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, poor Maverick. you've been quiet around. I just want to say again, amazing work on the modeling. It's just so good. I absolutely love it. And yeah, just great work. So guys, we actually have the 3D modeler here, so if you guys have any questions regarding the 3D model, like any difficulties or I don't know, you can just ask directly and they'll answer. Didier Lambert is asking, is the behavior on a single engine right? And actually, before Captain Iceman says something, I was actually thinking about doing like a simulated engine failure once we land on Catalina, so we see how does the airplane behave, can we feather the engine, whatnot, and then we just land back into Catalina and finish right there. So Captain Iceman, you want to add anything?
Good. No. I let the airplane speak for itself.
Oh, that's great. I love that. That's just amazing. Very good. Okay, so I was actually thinking about asking another question here, but basically all my questions were already asked by viewers, so that's great. I've got here, like in my notes, what does it involve to develop an airplane? You kind of already spoke about it, speaking about the way the balance and so on. Roadmap for future improvements. Okay, we could talk about that. What do you think about improving, like adding extra for this airplane on future like development, both the Seminole and the Seneca? I don't know.
I think that this one, like future improvements, not that much, to be honest. I mean, I think that with the experience that we have from the Seneca, we applied all our experience that we had with Seneca to this aircraft and even like raised the bar for the first release. As we said, probably just a little bit on the avionics area for the autopilot, and probably a little bit on some additional features that the real transponder has. It has like a timer.
Oh yeah.
You know that it has a timer. But we already have a timer on the ADF. Like
exactly. I was actually playing with that, and I wanted to say that the default ADF of X-Plane does not have a timer. It doesn't work. At least I tried it on the Cessna, and it doesn't work. And on yours it does, because when I do my cross-country navigations on our fleet that I fly in my flight school, we actually use the timer on the ADF to do like the leg timings. And so when I flew with the Yak 18, I wanted to do the same, but it was not possible. And on this one, it is possible. So it's really great. Really nice to see that.
Yeah, in this case, this is all what we have like built from the Seneca as well. Like the DME also works like the real counterpart. It has all the same exactly functionality, the buttons, the knobs and everything just works the same. If when you're able to switch the frequencies on the ADF and how you switch the frequencies and the standby and stuff, everything it works exactly like the real counterparts. So yeah, this is something that we brought also to the Seminole. So really for the Seneca was like a strong foundation of what we bring into the Seminole. It's like we raise the bar a little bit more with the Seminole in terms with the fuel system and other stuff, and having more panel configuration like avionics make it available. And but honestly, I think that the straight out from the box it's pretty solid what we're gonna be delivering at just before Christmas. Of course, you've been part of the Jetstream Discord server like since we started developing the Seneca. And we want to thank you for all your support. You've been very supportive of our project, and of course you already know how we seriously take into account like the support and the updates.
Oh yeah, the updates are incredible. I mean, I can speak like many times. Whether you had a problem being reported to you on a Seneca, and you would you would get it fixed like right away on the day, if not on the next. And I think that deserves recognition, and it's incredible. I mean, your products speak for yourself. By the way, guys, I've just engaged the autopilot a little bit so you guys can see if you've flown like the Cessna 172 with X-Plane, this is the exactly same panel. It's very simple. In this case, I just clicked on altitude so that it will hold whatever altitude we are at, and I've pressed nav so it follows the track of the GPS. In this case, we have like 11 minutes to go. We can actually see Catalina Island already. So really beautiful coming on with the sunset. If I'm not mistaken, the wind is coming from the other side. Actually, yeah, we have like a 5 knots tailwind right now, so we're gonna do like a left downwind for the runway and then turn base and then final to land. And then you got like the heading mode, the approach, the rev. I think this is for back course. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
And vertical speed, basically, so you do not select an altitude, you just use the vertical speed. The plane follows your vertical speed, and once you are close to your altitude, you decrease the vertical speed, and then just click altitude, and the airplane will follow the altitude that you select there. Really nice. I love this old radios. I think they're really nice, nicely modeled again. Maverick, good job. And so far the plane is flying fantastically. Absolutely love it. Now, also a question. If we open the door mid-flight, will it have any effects?
No, but you cannot open the door mid-flight.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that is easier. Oh, also I forgot to mention, we've got AviTab here that you can toggle as well. So we've got a little bag down there with the manual, which opens your weight and balance, and then you can use your AviTab and fix your charts and whatnot however you like. So this is really nice. Let's just use a little bit of time before landing. We've got a light here on the ceiling that works. Actually, it's a green light. Probably we have still a lot of light coming from the sun, but it does work. And let's check out what do we have here in the back. I mean, I love the seats. Let me actually just disengage the show passengers inside.
You can click on the seats. And they
oh,
will
okay.
go away.
Yeah, there you go. Go away, go away, go away. Just so we see a little bit of the texturing work. I love that the seats say Jetstream. Is just I think it's just such a unique touch. And now we're just having our amazing X-Plane sun.
That is Maverick's work.
Let me just do it like this. I love the texturing work. Let me actually put some daylight here so you guys can see it nicely. But this is really nice. I mean, look at the texture at this of the seatbelt. It's everything here. This is so nice, and the ceiling is great. And you probably on the liveries you can customize the colors of everything up here. I think probably. Is it true or not? Like, let's say I want to paint a livery, a custom livery, and
we have for the paint kit right now. We only have the exterior, but we're planning to add the interior for the paint kit as well, so it will be easier.
yeah.
If you want to change the color of the panels or of the seats, or just make it your own, you know.
Awesome. That's really nice. Okay, now I'm gonna start going down. Add a bit of mixture there. And drop a little bit the power. Now I have an interesting situation with the EGT there. One side of the EGT, actually, yeah, I know why. Because they were slightly offset. There we go. Okay, let's start our descent, our final descent into Catalina Island, where we're gonna do our nice approach. I want to do like this kind of like blue hour light, which I really enjoy because this airplane, I don't know, but it just fits perfectly under this lighting condition, and it's just amazing. So we're gonna start our descent, we're gonna do a landing, and then we're gonna do a takeoff with an engine failure. I mean, I could set up the engine failure. Iceman, what do you think? Should I set like the failure exactly, or it would be enough to just
I think that you should set, if you're planning to do that, like you just set the failure at some point, because then it will you will not be like struggling with the failure and then going back, and then the aircraft will do something weird while you're trying to coming back from just triggering the failure. So if you can program the failure a little bit in advance, I think that's what's going to be better.
Okay, so we're gonna land, and I'll program the failure, and then we take off. And once we take off, the failure will happen, and then we're gonna see what's what. Now, because I forgot to switch the QNH back to the Imperial units, I actually am converting from inches of mercury to hectopascal. So guys, yeah, remember, before starting the engines, configure everything as you need. And that is it. Lovely. I mean, I've been enjoying this airplane a lot. It is so stable to fly. I've already disconnected the autopilot, and it is just very, very nice. Anybody on the chat has any more questions regarding this? OPSP Plane Spotting is back into the chat as well. I wonder, actually, does this plane have a gear warning sound?
Yep.
Yeah, it does. Can we switch it off? Is there like a button to mute it?
I think so. I don't remember if I programmed that. I'm sorry. That's no. There's no mute.
Okay. So we're gonna have to hold in. I mean, that's alright. That's totally fine to me. That's absolutely totally fine. Santiago Castaneda is asking, I think that's a question. He says G1000 is probably asking, like, is there going to be a version with the G1000 or not?
No, we don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't think as well this airplane deserves to have a G1000. It's probably a little bit not for that.
I think that you take away a little bit of the essence and the spirit of the aircraft with the G1000. There are so many other like panels from the G1000s from aircraft that just put in the G1000 because it's easier, right? You don't have to deal with all these gouges and stuff and everything, and it's just, let's put a G1000 in an aircraft that you seldom see Seminole with the G1000. Probably, yeah. I'm not saying they're not. Probably just one guy said, I'm just gonna like completely new avionics, and they just put on the G1000 or even like the G500 panels. But I think that adding more like the G5, it takes the spirit away of this aircraft.
Yeah. Synchronish Flyer 297S is asking, is there a maintenance menu where you can reset the errors, like engine low oil?
No, there's not a maintenance menu, and the reason because there's no maintenance menu is because in the real aircraft you don't have a maintenance menu. You need to go to the cowlings, actually open the oil caps and check your dipstick. So this is what you do in this aircraft. You check your dipstick and see if you need to refill the oil.
I think he actually what he actually was asking is something like, if you get a failure, let's say you forget to add oil and your engine quits, so you broke your engine, is there like a way to reset, or you just do it through the explain menu?
Then you will do it through the explain menu, but then your engine will not start again because it will just run out of oil. So it's not like you can just you forget to put oil on the engine, you go fly. You don't have a menu in the real life just to I forgot to put oil, let's reset the engine. No, you're done. You need to be careful. That's our part of philosophy. Like if you like basic things, like if you run out of fuel, you cannot reload the aircraft on flight. You run out of fuel because you didn't do your fuel calculations properly. If you broke your engine because there was no oil enough, it's because you didn't do your walkaround and you didn't check the oil levels, and it's just a lazy thing to do, right? And then if we had the option, like, okay, I have an engine failure because I don't have enough oil, let's just reset it. What's the purpose to actually make the engine fail because you forgot to add oil in your pre-flight, right?
So basically the only way, let's say you forgot to add engine oil, you go take off, you got an engine failure, the only way you can reset it is like restart the sim.
Restart the go land, do a safe landing, and restart the sim.
Okay, this is actually interesting.
Sending it to overhaul or buy new engines, you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Flight Vision, hi all, I nearly missed it, damn it. No, you're still in time, you are still in time to ask questions. You are in time for the most beautiful approach that we're gonna have on this live stream. It's actually amazing. I don't know if YouTube compresses it very well, but the light is so beautiful right now coming into the island, and that light on those far clouds, like that reddish color, is just so realistic. It's amazing. And with this plane, just, I don't know, I'm enjoying. I was taking screenshots here yesterday for the thumbnail and whatnot, and it's I mean, that's why we're flying here. Secret Flight 97 saying makes sense to me, thanks. Alright. Oh, and I have a question as well. So, because this airplane can go above 10,000 feet, and there is oxygen simulated, is the hypoxia effect default from X-Plane, or is there like a custom coded?
No, it's the epoxy effect from X-Plane is about right now. It starts happening at the right altitude. So
okay, yeah, all right.
If it's not broken, let's not fix it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you are right, because I forgot they changed it. I was thinking they still had that really hard effect at 10,000 feet, but
no, it now starts around 1,300 feet.
Okay.
Start to feel it. Yeah, it's improved.
All right, good. Okay, so we're here, not very far from the airport. So let me start to slow down, turn inbound. Lights are already on. I'm gonna put my gear down. First notch of flaps. Actually, never mind, not the first notch of flaps, because otherwise I would have overspeeded the flaps. Now I can put the first notch of flaps. Props and mixtures are gonna go forward.
The mixtures don't necessarily go forward in this unless you're landing at the sea level. Remember, this is aspirated. In the turbo, yes, you will do it, but not in an aspirated. If you are landing in a higher airfield, you don't want to go the full mix into an aspirated carburetor engine.
Okay.
Because then you lose your stoichiometric mixture.
That makes sense, actually. Alright, I'll lean them just a tad. Okay, I've got the runway in sight. Nice and stable. I feel like I'm a little bit low, so I'm gonna maintain here my altitude. I understand why they call this airplane this airport the Sky Airport, because if you land on it, basically the only thing you see from it is actually sky, which is really interesting. Okay, I think we are now back on the profile. This is a really interesting place to land. Landing is down, 3 green. Flaps are full. We are stabilized. Speed is good. Maintain the 90 knots above the blue line or within the blue line. And we're probably gonna feel a couple of bumps coming onto the runway because X-Plane simulates the mountain effects. I feel like I'm a little bit high, but that's alright. Yeah, I'm fairly high. Well, let's try something. Let's pull the engines to idle. And look at that drag. Man, this is why I love these prop airplanes, because you can just stabilize yourself so quick. And I'm getting these freezes constantly during the stream. I think this beta is still not optimized very well. Oh, I floated a bit. And there's a touchdown. Flaps up. Whoa, sorry guys, this was my pedals. This is not the plane. This is my pedals. My pedals decided to play a trick on me. And I have a problem. It's the don't buy Trustmaster TFRP pedals, because you will have this problem. Basically, dust can get inside the sensor very easily, and then it just randomly turns and looks like I forgot to set up a dead zone. So, yeah, slippy slip. MH, can I do a flyby? Yes, I can. That sky is gorgeous. Jose Pagan, yeah, absolutely. Alright, so I'm not gonna shut down anything. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push the time a little bit back so that we get some light. And we just spin around. I think the wind is not that strong, so we can just depart from this side. Yeah, the sky is absolutely amazing. Or, Captain, what do you think? Should we do the failure with this lighting, or we do some daylight?
No, do it with this lighting. It's amazing.
All right, so let me just set the clock to break there.
Let me go and change the oil here, because yeah, it's been long, so I just need to. I'll be back like in 5 minutes.
No problem. Okay, so and I'm gonna plan the failure.
I'll leave you with Maverick. Any questions he can answer.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Maverick can go through everything, because Maverick is just the modeler.
All right, Maverick, what do you think? What is gonna be the criteria for the engine failure? So is this gonna be the left or the right engine?
Oh, my friend, you can do whatever you want. Like, yeah.
Okay, let's do engine fail on number. Okay, chat, decide. Number 1 or number 2?
1.
Okay, number 1. Okay, so I'm gonna go failed at exact altitude or exact speed. Let's do altitude, and let's do. Wait, what's the altitude here? Actually, I haven't checked that, but we are roughly at 1,700 feet. So let's say at what, 2,000 feet, we get the failure. Oops, it's wrong. So let's come here. Wait, no. Failures, engines, failures, engine 1 fail at 2,000. Let's do 2,100 feet. So something like we would be doing a departure, and on the takeoff, we would have the failure. Okay, I'm gonna apply the changes. So now we have the failure coded. Now I am feeling the pressure. Let me just tune in my mixture. So 1,700 mixtures. This looks good to me. Back to 1,000. Now let's wait for Captain Iceman, maybe? Or should we just go with it?
I should be back pretty soon there, so.
Yeah, that was a little bit... Man, wait, let me check my pedals, actually. Oh my god. Yeah, see? See? My pedals are centered right now. Oh my gosh. I swear to god, that was centered. Don't, guys, if you're watching, don't buy these pedals. I mean, they are very cheap, they do the job, but then after some time, you start getting that problem. No, actually, the dead zone is coded, so that was probably like a really big dust spot. Okay. All right, now we've got a rudder trim. After this, I think we should watch some replays. Is Valenta recording? Yeah, Valenta is recording. Landing was -133. Not bad. Looking good. We still have enough fuel. Flaps are up. So we're gonna do departure, and let's do what, left or right hand turn? Let's do a left-hand turn to enjoy a little bit of the island. Just waiting for Captain Iceman to come. And stabilize. So, Maverick, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Did you already start doing the new Piper, the 31?
I did start to gather reference. That's the hardest part, right? Is to get all the right reference and stuff. I need to. That's something we need to do. Me and Ice there, to find the real plane that would be around here, Saint-Tropez Airport, Montreal. We need to find one. That's the first thing. But yeah, I started to gather the reference to build the fuselage. That is the easiest part to do. The hardest part is to get the detail, like all the little intricate little holes here and there, and not talking about the inside, because the inside it's crazy. But with the right, like I said, I started to gather the stuff. If we don't find one around here, that would be a bummer. But I think I can still gather most of the reference online. All the information is there, but it's always better to get the real feeling of the plane, right? So if anyone knows where we could
Yeah.
get fun to just take pictures, texture. It helps with the texture also. But yeah, it started.
Awesome. I'm really excited for that. Also, for example, I'm looking here at the carpet in this Seminole. Basically, this is all done as well, like from pictures from the real airplane, right?
Yeah, it's all taken from the Air Richelieu flight school here in Saint-Tropez. Like we said there, the plane exterior is the same thing. They have three Seminole there. We took most of the three of them, if I'm not mistaken, as this light in an older model in there. But the inside panel, we took the one that was the newest. I find that it was a more interesting panel. That's why we went that way. Yeah.
Okay. And now I noticed something. I think these engines, this is not counter-rotating engines, right? So you have a critical engine.
That would be a question for Ice, because I'm not sure he's programming the...
Okay, because I'm just looking, like the engines are exactly the same, and many times when you have like twin engines, twin props.
Oh, you mean? Okay, I thought you were talking about the rotation of the.
Yeah, exactly, like the rotation of the engines.
Yeah, they're counter-rotating.
They're counter-rotating.
Yeah.
Okay, because I found this interesting. Like the thing is similar, like here. So I thought maybe they are not.
Yeah.
They're counter-rotating. Like if you see when you stop the engines and you start the engines, you see counter-rotating. Just like when they go.
I mean, I kind of
faster.
noticed the animation is going like the counter. So okay, cool. So Iceman, we were waiting for you. I've got the failure programmed. Let's put a nice sunset again. And basically we've got a failure to fail. I don't remember which engine already, but it's gonna fail at 2,100 feet, so 400 feet from here. So we're gonna depart, do a left-hand turn departure, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen, basically.
Cool.
You're gonna help me with this one. I kind of know what I have to do, but
use your skills and remember to close the cowling flap of the good engine.
Close the cowling flap on the good engine. Won't I overheat that engine?
It will just never mind. Like it goes, you go, and actually, no, you close the cowling flap on the bed engine. So.
On the bed. Okay. All right. So let's go, guys. Let's see how I go with this. Full power. This feels really weird, because I know there's something waiting for me. Okay, RPM is good. Airspeed's alive. Plane is feeling nice and heavy. I hope my pedals won't play any tricks on me again. 70 knots, rotate. And pitch for blue line. Positive climb gear up. And there we go, we are on the speed. Light off. 100 knots for the climb out. Slow left-hand turn. Careful with the terrain. I really don't remember which engine's gonna fail.
One.
Oh, it didn't fail. It didn't fail.
Was it at 2000 something?
Yeah, past 2100. Let me check. Failures. Engines. Failures. Engine fail 1. Above ground level. Well, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, let's do like what? Let's do then 500? Yeah. I missed the AGL. I thought that was MSL. I should have set like 300 there. Okay, maybe 500. I don't know if you are if we are 500 feet above. So let me try apply the changes. I just keep going. Just keep going over the ocean. Yeah, the computer is always right. We're almost always right. Just need to keep a good speed. And okay, we're probably above 500 as well. As well, or maybe not. I don't know. Man, but it does fly so nice. MH is asking for a flyby. Okay, flyby. I'll risk the flyby with the engine failure.
I think that you will just need to trigger it now, because if you were above the trigger altitude,
Yeah.
it will not trigger.
Let me change it. So, can I set time? Can I set time? Engines, failures. Time. Exact time, minutes. No, minutes.
The 1 minute, that's it.
Okay, let's do 1 minute. Done. Apply. Alright, it's set. The bomb is ticking. MH, thank you. No problem. Let's do another one. It's lovely. And it's a fast twin. Alright, so...
Fast.
Yeah. So we are doing a little tour to the passengers. Showing the sunset. It's just so nice. I love the view of this wing and the engine. So cool. Killer's asking Synchronous Flyer wait. Synchronous Flyer off-road trip. I hope Santa brings you new pedals. I'm not so sure. Maybe. But I'm not so sure. But vision rudder on the bad one? What do you mean? Oh, there you go. Oh, that actually catched me off guard. Okay, so there we go. Keep the power on, keep the speed on. We don't want to lose any speed. And there we go. I'm applying full right rudder. And we are still descending, so that's fine. Which engine failed? Left engine. Okay, so let me feather it. Okay, feathered. Okay, now it's easier. You can see that I can fly a little bit more coordinated. We're still descending though, so I'm gonna close the cowling flap on that engine. And let's see what does happen now. Alright, good. Look, we are basically leveled. And we can fly straight. And the airplane is behaving nicely. Okay, I could switch off the fuel pump for the left engine, and switch off the magnetos as well. And the left alternator, because it's not going to work. Now let me just trim the airplane properly. Mixture is good. And we could do the mixture cutoff. This looks pretty epic, I must say. Okay, and now let's start coming back. Very slowly, maximum bank angle of 10. And I'll keep the altitude as high as possible until the very end, because once we deploy the gear, that will have a lot of drag. Also, I should have probably switched the mixture off on that engine. There we go. And this one. I know it will warn me about the gear. Okay, but we are maintaining 4,000. Basically, the airplane is pretty heavy. We have like full set of passengers. Speed is good. And we are coming back. What a lovely sunset, guys, don't you think? I mean, I love it. Look, it's just, it's wonderful. I love to see the propeller turning like that. That's super nice. I mean, you get the idea. It's not super nice, but it's super nice. Oh, did we just lost the horizontal, the artificial horizon? Probably because it's fed from the left engine.
Yeah, it's the mechanical gyro.
Yeah. So this is nice. This is realistic as well. Very good. And I'm trying to find the runway. There's the runway. I'm gonna have to keep turning. Still applying full right rudder. The plane is doing good. Temperatures are looking fine on the other one. I hope we now don't lose the other one. That wouldn't be very nice. But this is really cool. MH, I was curious if we could hear that unique howling sound that the Seminole has while doing the flyby, but unfortunately it is not audible. I never heard the Seminole in my life, so I will not be able to judge it. But maybe Captain Iceman has to say something about it.
I don't. We don't have that sound. We were not able to catch like the Seminole flying back on top of Fort.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, at least for me, it still sounds amazing, and it looks amazing, and it flies amazing. Like, look, this is just so nice. I could do an attempt of restart. We have plenty of time to restart the engine, which is probably like the procedure actually first tells you to stabilize the airplane and whatnot, and if you have the time, try to restart the engine. But probably with the failure that X-Plane puts, I don't think you have actually like a restart possibility, so I'll just ignore it and we'll just continue onwards. Now I just need to remember that for the landing, because I'm applying full right rudder, once I take the power out on the live engine, then I have to center my rudder pedals and hope that they actually work. So there we go. This looks like a nice finish for the stream, like an engine failure. I mean, we've explored everything. We looked at all the pre-flight stuff, all the walk around. We showed the systems. We refueled the airplane like we should. We showed the different customization options with it, hand-flown flight with an empty plane to feel the difference. Then we had like a full plane, which we have right now. We showed the GPS. We showed the different systems. We talked about the avionics and the future upgrades. And now, like icing on the cake, we're doing an engine failure, and it's working fantastically. Look at this. Lost 200 feet, but that's all right. I can see the runway. So that's good. I'll probably go and land with flaps 10, because I feel like if I deploy more flaps than that, probably that will be just too much drag. I don't know the exact procedure for this. Captain, if you have like, if you know the exact procedure for an engine failure landing with this airplane, or anybody on the chat.
Just keep your speed.
Oh yeah, well that's for true. Not below blue line for sure.
That's it. That's pretty much.
I'll actually start going down now. Landing light's gonna come on. Alright. I'll put the gear down now. Look, this is why you don't pull the power out. I just put the gear down and the speed is right there, stable. Good, the prop is spinning faster because we gained the speed. So this is nice. Synchronous Life 97, what can't be wrong at this tree? MH is saying belly landing is still better than a crash into the mountain. Oh yeah, that's true.
You mean the howling sound of the landing gear down? No, yeah, we have that.
It's just, he said on the I'm missing the word. On the, let me just put flaps 10 here.
Yeah, I thought that image was referring to when the Seminole goes on, like a flyby on top, but it's the landing. It's the sound of the landing gear that the Seneca and the Seminole does when you lower the landing gear.
Okay, I'm gonna put all the flaps in. I know I'm high, but that's good. And power out. Just protect the nose wheel. And off we go. And now nice braking. Nice braking, I said nice braking pedals. Alright. There we go. We are on the grounds. And alive. Amazing. Man, what an exciting stream this was. Let's go into the gate. Let's park up. And let's finish up. Any last questions for these 3 minutes that we're gonna have to get to the gate and shut down everything? Killer said, where is the... wait, was there rudder trim? I actually haven't trimmed the rudder, but there should be, probably.
Yeah, there's a rudder trim just at the back of the aft of the center console.
I'll check it out. Let me put some light in. Let me just get out of the runway. Actually, you know what? Because this is such an incredible place, I'll just stop here, right on the runway. And we're gonna stop right in the middle of the runway. And we're gonna finish the stream like that. Oh, this is nice. I was trying to counteract there the movement. But because I went into the ground, now that's gonna be totally impossible. Okay, plot twist. Actually, verdict. If you get an engine failure, don't taxi over the ground, because then you'll get stuck. Because of the explained physics. Look, I'm applying full power now. This is actually a problem that I think they really need to fix.
Oh, this is good.
Okay, I can get out of it with differential braking. There we go. And we're gonna stop right here. Set the brakes, switch off the lights. Fuel pump is gonna come off. Radio master is gonna go off. Yeah, and the engine is gonna go off as well. All right, off, 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 off. And I can unlock the door, get out. And put some nice light over here to check the plane. And that is it. Well, Captain Iceman, Maverick, Jeff already went away. I want to thank you for being here on the stream and asking and answering all those questions about your airplane. I want to congratulate you guys for this amazing product. I think it's wonderful, and it's great to have you guys, people like you, actually developing this kind of airplanes for the simulator, because it's not very it's not a very popular airplane, to be fair. I mean, general aviation in general is not very popular in the sim. It's getting more and more traction, but still not as popular as, say, some airliners or whatnot. And it's really good to see. By the way, the propeller is still feathered. That's really nice, because I think some default models of X-Plane actually, once you land or switch off the engine, the propeller goes back to the normal like state, and this one is still correct, so really good. And yeah, I really want to just thank you again for all that you've done, and for your time here on the live stream.
Thank you for having us on in your live stream. Like, definitely, it was something really enjoyable, and to enjoy with your viewers and stuff, and answer the questions. We are always like happy to be on participate in this kind of events. So thank you so much for inviting us and having us on board, and for showcasing the Seminole. I want to thank you, like, for all your support since we started this journey with the Seneca. Like, it's been great, and big thanks, like, Vlad. You've been amazing, and thank you so much.
It's awesome, and again, thank you for this, guys. Any last questions? If so, it's time. If not, we're gonna end. Cooler is saying, actually, first, sorry, Synchronfly is saying, yeah, we are alive. Oh, hell yeah. Managed that airplane. But, you know, it's actually very well done. So it was fairly not as difficult. So it's good. I mean, it's brilliant airplane, and I challenge every and each one of you, once you get this airplane, to hand fly it as much as possible, because it will make you better pilots. You will get better at energy management, you will get better at your landings, you will get better at speed management, you'll get better at your altitude, you'll get better at everything, and it will be just so much better. Kohler is saying, I know I'm high, but that's good. I have said this many times, but under different circumstances. I'm gonna leave a question mark and an open space for that. Dirt physics around, at least A, B by weight or type. I get airliners get stuck, but even the DC-3 needs full power to taxi on dirt. I don't know. I think the dirt physics on X-Plane are a little bit wonky, but again, I have never tried on a real airplane, so I give them the benefit of the doubt. But basically, for me, every time I get on dirt, it's like, okay, there's going to be a real problem.
They're a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think so. I think they are a bit too much. Didier Lambert says, thanks, Vlad, you're welcome, man. Synchronfly says, bye-bye, and sorry, Iceman, you wanted to say something?
No, yes, because I on the Seneca, I used to land on grass strips and some other like surfaces, and yeah, it's too much, I think.
It's a little bit weird, definitely. All right, well then, guys, thank you very much. We're gonna end this live stream right here. I hope you enjoyed this pre-release Piper PA44. Once it goes out, go there and buy it. Let it be your Christmas present, and well, probably we will see you flying the Piper PA44 once it comes out, because I definitely want to do at least one more live stream until the end of the year with it. If not, we're going to fly it next year, and we're going to do some adventure. I already have some interesting airports to fly on Mexico, so definitely join for that. Once again, thanks everybody, guys. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. First weekend, then week. And yeah, stay awesome. Bye-bye, everyone.